Hello, welcome to another edition of the Pace Report. I'm Brian, Pace reporting live here at the famous Minton's here in Harlem, New York. Blessing the band stage tonight is a saxophonist and educator who is eventually getting ready to drop a brand new record, but he's also been a very, very important staple on the jazz scene. East Baltimore's Steve Carrington has played with a plethora of so many jazz greats, including the great Kenny Garrett, to Stanley Turrentine, Pharoah Sanders, just to name the many endless few. Tonight he's performing new music from his upcoming record, and tonight you're going to hear some fire and brimstone in this music. In fact, there's some spiritual, there's some funk, there's some straight ahead, and there's also some tenets of Mother Africa. Tonight I had a chance to sit down to break bread with Steve to talk about this upcoming recording, talk about his East Baltimore, Maryland roots, as well as talk about some of the very, very important figures that really mentored him, including the great Stanley Turrentine, as well as the legendary Kenny Garrett. So sit back, relax, and enjoy highlights of the upcoming recording of new music from saxophonist and educator Steve Carrington live here at Minton's, here in Harlem, here on the Pace Report. This project goes back to when the world was shut down and you sent me files of some of this new music. And tonight, this is the new music. This is the music that's coming out.
Yeah.
Tell everybody about this new album.
Oh man, the new album is it's a blessing. That's what I call it. Nothing but the best on there. Cyrus, Chestnut, all the Whitfield, the entire Whitfield family. It's being produced by John Lee, Kenny Davis, the great bassist, is on there. Alexander Clapper's done a couple tunes in there. Rudy Bird, I got a percussionist on this. Yeah, Kenny Garrett's percussionist.
Okay.
You know, coming out of that whole pedigree. This is the first record I've done with all my compositions, all my tunes.
This is the first record you've done in about 5 or 6 years.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
What took so long?
Well, first the pandemic. Secondly, you know, I think it takes me time to really write and get out what I'm hearing for it to be quality. I think when you write fast, you miss all the heavenly glory. You take your time and get to marinate the sound and work on it, then you can get to something of quality.
These songs, they're fiery. There's spirituality to this. There's some funk to this. There's some Mother Africa in this. You got a lot going on here. How did all of these kind of fuse together? I mean, like you said, this band is on fire.
It was, you know what it is? A musician's life, as you journey, and all the different musical experiences you have, they definitely affect you. And they seep in. But that's part of your story. You should embrace it. Try to embrace those sounds. So like you said, Mother Africa. Like I played with some African musicians, but some of them are my best friends. And then not to mention playing with Kool in the game. One of the tunes on the record was a tribute to Khalid's the Roundabout. He was the one who actually brought me in the band. But also too, I was trying to capture his spirit. When you would see Khalid's always smiling, very happy guy, always jovial, right? So I was trying to capture that. Not. I wanted to remember him how I knew him, and that's happy. That's why you hear songs like Celebration. That's a happy song,
right?
But that's Khalid. That's Ronald. So I wrote a tune to him. This record is called Friends Are Family. Every tune is for a friend, and pretty much there's a song on there where it's just me, Cyrus, playing. I wrote it particularly for Cyrus. The tune is called, it's a Hebrew tune, Ha Shalom El Leolam, which actually means the peace of God forever. Because that's how I see Cyrus. Cyrus is probably one of the most soft-spoken people.
He sure is. He sure is. He sure is.
That I've known all my musical life. I've known Cyrus, and he's actually been pushing me for years and things like this. And he's always said, but it was, you know, me taking my time. And I think things come when they're supposed to. Not before or not later.
What is it about Baltimore that, you know, I mean, Barry Levinson even came out of...
Let me tell you a story about Barry. He did a movie called Liberty Heights.
Yeah.
I'm in that movie. I'm in the James Brown band. That movie, let me tell you, man, they put the wig on the brothers, you know. Yeah, if I knew you could get paid that much money for just pretending that you play.
You know, and it's funny because that movie was the trilogy of him growing up in Baltimore. It was Diner, and I think that movie was like the last. And there's another one that he did that just really kind of showcased him growing up in a segregated Baltimore in the late 50s and 60s.
Yeah.
And the music scene has always been very, very kind to people of color in that city.
Yeah.
Tell me about some of your origins learning the music in Baltimore.
In the beginning, I really didn't have a teacher, but there was a saxophone player living next door to my grandmother. And I used to come down there and stay and I was there, and his room was right by my room when I was there. But I'd hear him playing at night in the yard. You know, in Baltimore they have row houses. So his yard was like, and he would play in the yard. Then one day, I just said, Alan, let me try it. And I played it. So the rest is history. You know, my pop got me one. Then I got to middle school, and that's when I really got to a school band. And then the teacher was Howard Burns, and he was a sax player. So he put me on tenor. I was messing around with alto, but he put me on tenor. And then I started hearing him practice. You know, I could be in my math class on the fourth floor, but I could hear this guy practice. And it was quite impactful. He played with like Donald Byrd and the Blackbirds. He played with this group called the Whatnots. You know, but he actually did study in Belgium. He studied like saxophones and classical saxophone in Belgium. Beautiful sound, man, on tenor. Beautiful sound. That's the sound that I hear in my head when I'm playing. I'm hearing Howard and Kenny.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because it's the resonance of the sound. And then of course the Baltimore School for the Arts I went to. Then I went to Berklee. Then I was in the Army band. That was my travels.
You know, it's funny you say that, and I totally forgot. Warren Wolf, Tim Green,
exactly.
Mason Leak.
Yeah.
One of my favorite
songs.
Oh yeah. You know, it's crazy. That city got some serious history.
Yeah.
You know, I hear a lot of different saxophonists when they're playing. I hear Pharoah Sanders, I hear Kenny Garrett, I hear a little bit of Grover, I hear a little bit of a myriad of some of our great saxophonists. And I need to ask you how you developed your sound and how you developed your style, because shedding is one part of it, but identifying and being who you are, that's another part of how a saxophonist becomes the person that he wants to become as a musician.
Yeah, that's true. Like other musicians, I've done a lot of listening, and I still listen. You know, because you're constantly developing, you're constantly moving, right? So, I in the beginning, it's funny you would say about Grover that you hear that, because my pop used to listen to Grover. That was his man. So that was what I first heard, was that sound. You know, but then I have a great uncle. He's passed away now. Well, I call him my uncle. He's a friend. He's the great uncle of a great bass player, a friend of mine I used to hang out with that got me into Jocko and Brecker, and that's when I first heard Kenny through that friend. I only knew him as Buttercup. Man, he hung out, he was with Bird and them. He had all his music in his house, and when he heard me practice playing with his nephew, he said, he told Craig, bring him past the house. So Craig brought me over there, and then he had all this music, and then I used to find myself over there a lot just listening. And he'd make me say, no, you gotta check this out. And he had me listening to many people. And then I listened to a lot of Stanley too.
There's a Stanley Tarantino story you told me about.
Yeah.
You know, we talked about this last week. You know, Stanley was one of those guys that, you know, he's very, very soulful, but he can play the blues. He can play the blues.
What? Listen, I stayed at Stanley's house for 2 days. I must have been 20 or 21, I don't know, something like that, around there. But I had opened up to him, but then he was playing the Blues Alley in D.C., and I used to go over there. Same way Dizzy used to be here at Blues Note and hanging here, Stanley used to hang in Blues Alley. He lived in Silver Spring during his time. And he heard me, and he took me to his house. And he started just playing me all these records. It was all these sax players I never even heard of. And that during that time, I think I was deeply into like Train, Blue Train. I was going through that record, like trying to really catch what Train was doing over the changes. Like, well, what is he doing? Like, how is he connecting it? Right? And Stanley was like, he never played any Train, but he kept playing these people. I don't even remember their names. He's like, but they were bad though. The records was killing. He said, yeah, you never heard of this guy? He said, oh, I know why you never heard of him. Because the media was chasing Train, that's why you ain't never hear about this and that. That's how he said, right. You know, it's such great language when you listen to so many of them. Right. So you can grab language. I'm listening to Dexter, I'm listening to Hank Mobley, I'm listening, you know, as I kept growing and developing, I started listening to more saxophone players. But I was learning how to listen to what they actually gave. What they gave to the music. You want to get soul? Go listen to Hank Mobley.
Hank Mobley, yeah. Soul Station. That Soul Station record, yeah.
Right, you can't get no more soulful than that.
You know, it's crazy because my grandfather, he had his archbishop's saxophonist he listened to. He was a huge fan of Ike Quebec. He was a huge fan of Lucky Thompson. He was a huge fan of Sonny Stitt and Gene Ammons. And everybody has a different saxophonist that they really dig.
Right.
Like for me, I'm a huge Hank Crawford fan.
Yeah.
But no one could play the blues like Hank Crawford could play. Just like no one could play the blues like Stanley Turrentine.
I'm gonna tell you a secret. Hank was Kenny's man. Kenny told me.
Really?
Hank Crawford was his man. He liked Hank Crawford.
I love Hank Crawford too. Those albums.
Hank was supposed to do that record that
Grover Washington.
Yeah, you know about that story?
Yeah. From what I've heard, Hank Crawford was locked up and he had to do that date, and Grover was the guy that stepped in and did it.
He was there, but he was playing with Hank.
Right.
You understand? So he already kind of knew stuff.
Right.
So he was there. So he knew the music. And you know, the rest is history.
Right. And from memory, if memory serves me correct, Grover was supposed to play another saxophone on that session instead of the saxophone that he was allegedly supposed to play on that record.
Yeah, right. Exactly. He wasn't supposed to play because he played tenor on the record.
Yes.
But he wasn't really a tenor player.
No.
But you know, if you listen to, you know Walter Beasley?
Yeah.
Walter's like coming out of the world.
Yeah, there was a lot of cats that he passed that baton to.
Yeah, he's coming out of the world. Yeah.
Garrett is a very important cat to you.
One of the most important. Yeah, actually.
In fact, Kenny kind of changed the canon of the saxophone when he came out. He's been a mentor to you, and there's some things that he's imparted to you as a musician and as a friend. What are some of the things that he's helped you change as a musician and as a person?
Well, Kenny showed me some vital things, and he made me understand the importance of getting back to fundamentals on your instrument. Right, you know, people try to play changes and stuff like this, but first you need to be able to handle the instrument fundamentally. You know, so that's one thing. Other thing is, you know, you get older, sometimes you get lazy, I ain't gonna lie. But we should be dealing with our instrument every day. That's who we are.
Brecker did it.
To keep moving.
Brecker did it. There's a lot of musicians I can tell you that just keep shedding.
Yeah, keep pushing it. Keep pushing it. As long as we got wind in the air and we have a mind and we can physically do it, keep pushing it.
I think Train did it. In fact, I really believe that Train was tired of playing that tenor and alto. I think had he lived, that dude, he would have probably been playing bassoon and the tuba. He would have gone.
He might have been playing Eubie.
Yeah. I really believe that Train got tired of playing the fundamentals and he was about to go somewhere else.
But he had created his own fundamentals. See, that's the thing. Dizzy said that. Well, Dizzy had said in an interview one time that what we do, the fundamentals we create, then the next generation take that and now make new fundamentals and push it. Next generation be doing that. Not you can learn from it, get it what they did, because that's the integrity, right? And you build on that. You know, Kenny is a lot of stuff. Kenny showed me. Kenny showed me so much stuff, and he simplified it. But I could understand what he was saying. Theory that you hear in school, but he had another way. He has another way to say it. And when he said it, I was like, oh, that's what it is. Because when I went to Kenny House, Kenny said, I know what you're trying to do. I hear you. I know where you're trying to go. And he just nudged me, basically, to help me get there.
Do you think, not to cut you off, do you think that Pharoah Sanders and guys like Archie Shepp, even Rasan Roland Kirkle, were really kind of venturing off of what we call spiritual jazz? Do you think that has a very, very important part to how you play the music and interpret it?
Yeah, I think it does.
How?
I think it all, because music ain't nothing but language. That's all it is. What is language? So what is? I'll pose this question to you. I always pose it to people. So what is music reduced?
Notes.
Give me another word.
Spirit.
Give me another word.
Out of body experience.
Okay, now you're going somewhere else. But I'm gonna say it to you. When you said notes, it's simply sound. We're making sounds right now, but we're using words. But what are words? They're letters put together to make words. Words put together to make sentences. Each level is a level of communication. That's all words are. They're letters in a reduced form. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q. They're letters that have sounds. So that sound, now when you put those combination letters together, you get words.
Right.
When you put those words together in combination, you get sentences. Now you're communicating, you're laying thought, right? So music is the same way. It ain't nothing but sound, but how are you using the sound to communicate? To get across some feeling, or to get across what you can tell. I can tell if a cat is angry when I listen to him. I can tell if a cat is melancholy, or how he's feeling, or how she's feeling. She's communicating. The sound, the vibration, that sound is giving off something.
So music is basically an out-of-body or in-body experience to sound.
So it is. Sound is vibrate. Sound is simply, now, one song can make some person cry. How is that? They don't hear no words. They just hear a cat play, and they cry. That sound, whatever sound it is they're making at that time, has that effect on their atoms and molecules.
Right.
That move them.
How do you recommend a musician, anybody that plays from the flute on down to the bass, how do you encourage a musician to find that?
Well, I mean, sound is what it is. What sound resonates with them? They have to search for that sound. What does it sound like? On my sax, there's a sound I'm hearing, and I'm trying to push that out. So that sound will get to them. That sound will reach hearts and souls. So on my Eubie, I'm also playing with sound in another way. On the soprano, you heard me play a little soprano today, and it's another sound.
Right. And Eubie, we have to go back to Eddie Harris. Eddie's another one of my favorites.
Electric sax or something, didn't he?
Yeah, he sure did. He was the first cat that did that, and then some 20 years later, Berklee comes. Yeah, you know, and you know they say everything, you know,
comes full circle.
That's right.
Yeah. Well, Abby Train had he experimented with the electric sax.
He did.
Yeah. Kenny experimented with like pedals.
Yeah.
See what I'm saying? Because it's helping you to get to something that you're hearing. Like I used it in a certain way with that song, but when I go on tour in Serbia, I'm going to open it up. Because I've been doing some things with it at home. One person heard me and they was like, "Man, hold up, bruh. You doing some other things with it." Like I was like, "Yeah, that's what I'm hearing. I'm trying to get it. I can't get this on sax because sax don't do this."
You know, the two saxophonists who I think of when you're talking about that, Yusuf Lateef and Rahsaan Roman Kirk.
Oh yeah.
They took, and again, they did what Train, I think, was about to do. They just said, okay, we can't do this on tenor. We can't do this on alto. We gonna flute. We gonna do the stretch. We're gonna hear these sounds like you say on different instruments.
Yeah.
And the expansion of that, I think people have kind of forgot about that in this time. You think so?
I think they have. I agree with you. And that's why when you hear these cats now, I don't know if they really searching. Are they really searching? There's so many sounds out there, man. How are you organizing the sound? But I agree with you. I think it's almost forgotten. That's why people hear it, when people see me with the Eubie, what is that? It's not something new. Berklee was playing it.
I remember I sent you that clip.
Oh yeah.
New Visions.
Yeah.
And when he played it in what, 85, 86,
that's right.
Cats was like,
what the hell?
But that the Eubie is basically what the Fender Rhodes was for the keyboards.
Well,
it was for the
saxophone. It depends. It's just a MIDI controller.
Yeah.
So all the sounds are in that thing I have. I got over 50,000 patches. I only used one particular sound because it matched what he wanted for that song. And what we wanted for that. That song.
Right.
You know, it matches that. It's a sweet sound for that sound. But man, I got some stuff that'll take you to the heavens.
Steve Carrington, what is jazz music?
Life. It's life music, and it's a life music. It's not you play it today and you get it. What is your life, and what is a life worth to you? That's jazz to me.
That'll do it again for another edition of the Pace Report, reporting live here at the famous Minton's here in Harlem, New York. I'd like to personally thank the talented Steve Carrington for his time. Look out for his upcoming record, which is coming out later this year. For more information, please visit him online at stevecarrington.com. Also follow him on social media, Instagram as well as Facebook. Also, I'd like to personally thank the staff and management here at Minton's for their warm hospitality. As always, people, I can't stress this more than enough. Please like, share, and subscribe to my videos here on YouTube and Vimeo, as well as leave comments. As well as please visit my website, thepacereport.com, for my weekly column, as well as my past segments. Until next time, remember, if it's in the groove, it'll make you move. Till next time, Peace.
Thank you.